How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Blessed by the best. Glad to be here.
Man,
You know,
man, you looking good.
yes, sir.
Also, special shout out, happy birthday, man.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Today
you.
is
One
his
more year around the
birthday. He
sun.
blessed us with his presence.
One more year with us around the sun. I couldn't think of no other way to do something unique. Everybody blowing out candles and everything, but I'm about to kick something out here for the people.
Man,
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
it's definitely dope. Mm. Tell the people a little bit about your background, where you started from.
And education and stuff.
Man, educate. Okay,
Yeah.
so born on the southeast side of Chicago. Actually, just moved back and renovated my childhood home on 83rd and Clyde.
Oh man, that's dope.
So I'm back there, and the grammar school that I'm principal of, I'm what they call a legacy principal. That's one who went to that actual school and graduated from there, and then you return to try to do big things. So
Like we all went to.
yes, sir. Like y'all went through. That's why I met a lot of y'all.
Yes, sir.
From the very beginning.
Yep.
And that's why it's personal. It's
Right.
not just business. Yeah, you get a paycheck, but it's more personal for me because I'm from that community,
Mhm.
represent that community, and it's a way of me showing kids you can do whatever you believe. All your dreams can come true,
Most
and
definitely.
then come back and give back.
Give
and that's
back.
what it's all about for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. From there, I went to Leo High School.
Mhm.
They've had a big stint with the America's Got Talent, so I'm still actively involved with them as well.
Okay.
And from there, I went to various colleges. I started off in Xavier, New Orleans. I went down there for for pharmacy, and then I came back to Chicago State and I got a degree in biochemistry.
Mhm.
So I was never really looking to get into education. I was working in various industries like environmental sciences and everything, and I got laid off with 9/11.
Right.
And I went to a school my cousin was working at. She was like the AP over there. And I just went to use their computers to do their resume. I try to get back out here. And while I was there, I was having a conversation with a lady, and I was talking to her. I didn't realize she was the principal.
Right.
And she called me to come to her office before I left. And I'm like, "What?" They said the principal want to talk to you. And it was her. I was like, "What?" She said, "Offer me a job on the spot." Back then, it was like a school aide, so it was just about the benefits for me. I thought I'd just take this job for the moment until I get back out here in the field, but something happened. Fell in love with those kids.
Oh yeah.
Them light bulbs going off for them.
Mm-hmm.
Felt good. So I eventually went back to school. I started as a school assistant, teacher's aide. Then I went back to school. I got my teaching degree. And by luck, there was an opening at McDowell where I started. So I
Yep.
became a fourth, third, fifth grade teacher for 10 years. And my principal, Dr. Hood, she pushed me. She said, black men move up in leadership positions in CPS. You need to get your stuff together.
Exactly.
So I went back to school, Governor State, and then I got American College of Education. I got my Type 75, and I started off as an AP, Salcedo, in Little Village. 99% Hispanic, 2,000 kids, and I don't speak Spanish.
Exactly.
So I was over there. I was doing that. I had a love for that. But prior to that, I did my principal training in Edgebrook up north. So I was able to see affluent communities as far as Caucasian communities. Then I worked in Latino communities where I was able to see how parental involvement was huge. And then I got that call to come back home. I call it home, Coles.
Edward
And so I've been
Coles.
there, Edward Coles. the Edward Coles.
Yeah.
And I've been there for 12 years. So as the principal.
I
So
didn't even know you've been there that long.
yes,
Wow.
the time's flying, brother.
Yeah,
it's flying. So right now, about 28 years in education. And
Shout outs to that, man.
and
Shout
she-
outs to Edward Coles as well too. We all on this podcast have been to Edward Coles. So
Oh yeah, and I was on the basketball team too. Though.
Oh yeah, yes,
Sixth
sir.
grade, seventh grade, eighth grade. We went back to back undefeated, and I was MVP
Yeah.
seventh grade year. And he didn't want to give it to me eighth grade year because he said everybody was gonna be mad.
Oh, they're gonna be mad. I remember the last time we talked, you asked me where those trophies at.
Where them trophies
And I
at?
said, so we got those trophies back up there.
I'm gonna
man,
have to come through there. We're gonna have to film that. We're gonna have to film
Yes,
that.
and I tell you something. We just got new lockers over the Christmas break, and when they pulled out the old ones, they found 2 bottles
Wow.
that were intact from 100 years ago when the school first started. So we just pulled them out,
Mhm.
showed them to the kids today. So when you come back to see the trophies,
Yeah,
they right in the
definitely
trophy
want,
case. You know what I
definitely
mean?
want to check them
Yeah.
out because I pulled up a picture of Coles a long time ago when they first built it. There
Mhm.
was nothing but land around it, no houses around it. It
Yeah,
was all land.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I had a guy from the class of 1959 come back.
Wow.
And he said what was instrumental about his class was the McDonald's on 79th and Yates. They watched that go up.
Go up. So they saw it get built.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so, you know, it's real interesting. Like, you never know who's going to come through the door.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's been there. Like, Miss Twine was there. And when she would have people come to the classroom and stuff like that. So like, those kind of things still happen. Those hidden gems, like the newsman on Channel 9 went to Coast. Yeah, so he would send his picture up. A lot of different people come back every now and then.
Yeah, I know you be seeing a lot of people coming back through there.
Yeah.
A lot of history there.
A lot of history, you know.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Teachers who passed down generation.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Campbell, rest in peace.
What you mean, rest in peace?
Mr. Campbell's still here.
Mr. Campbell still
here? Man,
Mr.
Campbell wished me a happy birthday on Facebook at 12 o'clock this morning. Yeah, he's active on Facebook.
He's active, yeah. You talking about probably Miss Foster.
Yeah, Miss Foster, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Miss Woods, rest in peace.
What about Miss Hopkins?
You know what? I asked about Miss Hopkins. I haven't heard from her because that was one of the ones that got me instrumental in science.
Yeah,
you know, because she was
with about that hypothesis all the time.
Hypothesis, you know, man. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So we celebrated 100 years of Coles last year.
I know.
And I went and reached out to like Miss Bonds.
Miss Bonds.
So she still, and they still hang out. They still, you know, I didn't know. I talked to them now, but like they used to go to like Frankie Beverly Mays concerts together and all that. So they still like do breakfast and stuff together. So she was able to get a few of them together. And, you know, Miss Henry just passed, so a lot of them was at her funeral.
Okay.
So I invite them up there. A lot of them came. Miss Ross, Miss Ella Ross, she's still alive. She came up there. You know, Mr. Shepard's there.
Yeah, I used to see Miss Shepard all the time at Thomas.
Yeah.
In the morning, I used to eat there and see him every morning.
Yeah. So a lot of them came up there, and they really excited. And we were trying to do what we was trying to do, like. We started the alumni back, and the first person we honored was, of course, Mr. Campbell.
Yes, sir.
So I want to keep doing that every year, honor a different one of them, because those are legacy. That's what I'm chasing. You know, those type of people that went above and beyond just being a teacher, or some of them that wasn't even they weren't even a teacher, but you thought they were, or something like that. Yeah.
Do you still remember some of Mr. Campbell's quotes or slogans?
Man, he who knows
knows that he knows not.
Yes, sir. You know that whole thing, man.
And write unreasonable 1,000 times, and then you bring it on his desk. He rip it up in your face.
Man, I used to sell unreasonable. I didn't have nothing to do. I write them out. I sell them to people.
Right, I got them.
You know,
that was slick.
You know what I'm saying?
Slick.
But yeah, it's a nice journey. You know, nice journey.
Learned a lot in that school, man, that environment. I also love what you guys are doing, man. It's beautiful out there in the landscape and the new basketball court, the new updated playground for the kids.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things is like I tell the kids that it's theirs. You know, let's take care of it. Make it for, you know, we work for you. And giving them something, because, you know, when we was coming up, that was like the oasis. That was the foundation where we did everything. You know, we spent a lot of hours outside of our family at that school, so we became family. Yeah. And that's one of my charges, to make that continue, you know, so to have something for everybody, because my job is just to expose them. You know, they might like this podcast. That's why I'm interested in when you bringing it there. Yeah. Somebody might want to do that. We got DJ equipment. We got weight equipment. You know, we got basketball, of course, right? Then we got the volleyball and things like that. We got sewing, crocheting. We got we got newspaper. So I try to bring everything that's in the world. TikTok video, they make a video. They got choir, just to expose it to them and see maybe this is something you might like, a niche. Because you know, we got to be in the reality of everybody's not going to college. No, right? Even we got some people that need to go to college, but maybe financial or something, they might not go. But I have trade people coming there, you know, like pipe fitters that came and bought their rigs there and showed them. Because, you know, where we are, where Coles was centrally located behind CVS and Bourne, how many people you know that went to those schools and did auto body and painting and became instrumental and got jobs within the community? That's why we love cars so much, right? All you out, you know, they know the cars and the motorcycles and things like that. But that's where it started from. So just piquing their interest and see what they go. We got hydroponics. So we're growing food within the school and different foods and strands of vegetables that they might not really be exposed to all the time, but they're learning about it and seeing if they can taste it and see if they like it. You know, and then, well, how do you grow this? Maybe somebody want to be a herbiculturist or something like that. So that's all we're trying to do is expose them to different things.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
We had none of that coming.
You know, childhood obesity is real. You know, these video games, they sit there for hours. They don't want to do the exercise. So we exercise, we got out.
We got outside.
And then we had those social skills. We teaching them social skills that we grew up on. You know, that's the thing. We can't take anything for granted. And just trying to show them those type of things, you know.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
We didn't have the phones and the internet like they got now. You know, so many distractions they got now.
Those phones are a problem, bro. They've been a big problem because they you know, the parents want them to know where their kids are and feel safe. They can call them. But we got phones in the school, but they'll go in the bathroom, call somebody up there they got a problem with. Next thing you know, like, who are these people outside? You know, or you know, they're bullying. You got cyberbullying now. We didn't have cyberbullying right there. You know, all these different things that come up that we have to adapt to get ready for. You know, my biggest challenge with the schools is, or one of my biggest charges is, I'm preparing them for jobs that haven't even been created yet for the future, right? Because the world that we knew it back then is different. I equate it to like when we was in 8th grade, you take a 3rd grader right now, they probably got the same skills we had when we was in 8th grade. You know, and it's like, wow, they get exposed to so much.
So much more,
So you got to get ready for that. And then that's what the challenge is, right? So you got to stay on your P's and Q's and just stay active every day. And then one of the biggest things is the social, emotional learning. Like it goes beyond the classroom. It's an iceberg. We call it what's underneath the iceberg. Like somebody coming in and they tired, they put their head down. You can't yell at them because they put their head down. You got to find out why they tired.
Why they tired?
What's going on with that? They eating everything inside their sight. Well, what's going on at home? You got to look for these hidden things, right? And that was a big thing for me because I had to learn how to talk to them over again because we always like, you got to be proactive than just reactive, right? You got to get in front of it and then just learn, respect everybody. But there's something going on. You got to figure out what that is before you just rah at them, you know, because it might be something beyond their control. They need a little help. So, so that's been a good thing. You know, it's a learning process. Keeps me young too. You know about the 6, 7, and let me through there. So it keeps me young with the different dance phrases and sayings that come up. You know, it keeps you in the loop with those type of things. So. I get passionate on what's going on, man.
What's the biggest difference you see between Coles then and Coles now?
Parental involvement. You know, and I'm gonna blame that on the city. Section 8. You know, when we was coming up, it was homeowners. You knew who was on your block. You knew who was the next neighbor, and you knew not to do something around this person. They was gonna tell your parents. Somebody knew somebody. Now you be on the block. They don't know who's on the different blocks. They don't know. And then the mobility rate, because people are looking for a better opportunity. I mean, you've seen the neighborhood, right? It's a big difference than when we grew up. It's a desert. Like we got one grocery store that just came back, save a lot. No banks on this street, right? No Walgreens pulled up out camp. No cleaners. You know, you got one store over there, and then you can go blocks and blocks and blocks. There's nothing, right? There's no, and not to mention, are there any after-school programs going on outside of us because we're limited to finances, right? But what else can you do besides go hang at Ekersall, right? There's nothing else there for them. So one of the biggest things is parental involvement because we know that the parents will come up when they feel you wronged their child. They're going to come running, right? If I take their phone, you know, something like that, they come, give my child their phone back. You know, not why you took it or whatever. But I can't get you to come up there and volunteer. You know, I can't get you to spend your time or you know, like this. We can't even like, you know, that's one of my challenges. I would just say parental involvement. We're doing better now. And the reason why we got a couple programs that come in where they're actually training the parents and they're paying the parents. So that's the difference. So, but I know that, you know, a lot of our parents, because of we 90% poverty levels, they got to work. We got a lot of latchkey kids, turnkey latchkeys, that parents at work. So that's one of the things where they just say, here, you mold them, you deal with them. We understand that, right? But we also know people do what they want to do, right? So it's sometimes You got to get that involvement. That's what the biggest difference that I saw when I worked on the north side in those affluent communities, because they got the jobs where they could take those days off work and they could just be there with their kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in those Latino communities, a lot of them work nights or they expect those sacrifices and they there. Whatever you need, they there. But in my community, it's like, that's a challenge. Somebody got to work and then they just trusted you to do it. So
Right.
meet them where they are kind of sort of thing.
But it's good you putting forth the effort to get them where they need to be, though.
Yeah, we trying. We trying. And that's one of the things that I don't just look at just hiring somebody to fill a role. I try to look through their soul to see what can you offer these kids besides just being in the classroom. Because you think about when we was there, we had people like Mr. Shepard, we had Mr. Campbell, Ms. Twine. We can keep going on, Ms. Bond. They went outside, they rolled so much that they show love beyond just, you got to learn these ABCs, 1, 2, 3, right? So I look to hire people like that. And if they not for the kids, bye.
Teachers back then were your auntie. They assumed the role like your auntie. Mr. Shepard was like everybody granddaddy around there.
Walk around with that pallet.
Come here.
Yeah. And wasn't no question, like if Mr. Campbell or Mr. Shepard said something, the parents be like, oh, no, not my child. No, they took it, they took that as, well, what did you do? Because they ain't gonna make this up on you.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Nowadays, your word means nothing. They're gonna take their child's word and be like, come on now. We here. I'm with your child more than you are sometimes. Come on, I'm not gonna lie.
And every parent know their child's tendency.
Exactly. And that's why, it's like when you have those breaks, like we just come off 2 weeks, we like, here you go.
Right.
Go on, see it for 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
we come back, then we reprogram and see it again. So
they rush them back together.
Yes, rushing back, So that's what's been a beautiful thing, though. But one of the things about working in my own community, I feel like it's a blessing and curse, because there's no off time for me. If I'm in a grocery store or I'm just on Stony Island, something, it's McSpadden. It makes me stay like this, right? Because I'll never know when I'm gonna see one. And then the blessing is that the support that I do get, like for example, I'm able to say, like, you get a child, like, what's your last name? Are you related to such and such? Like, yeah, that's I know, tell them I talked to you and blah, blah. So now I got a connection with that family, and that's a beautiful thing. I can be like, okay, so maybe if something happened or something going on, I can reach out to this other person and say, hey, I need support with this.
Exactly.
And to be honest with you, that even came from the gang culture around the school. They was like, you here, we're going to support you above the table, below the table. I don't have any issues around that some other schools have. Dismissals, kids able to walk home, come to school. It's nothing.
No problem.
No problem. And I appreciate that.
We've always policed our area since we were kids, though. You had to go to school. We was one of the last neighborhoods on the east side where we're gonna protect our our own and our youth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a good thing, and it still goes on.
Plans for the future.
Plans for the future. My biggest thing is when we were going there, Coles held like 800 kids.
Yeah.
We at 300 now, but I'm challenging that 300.
300?
300.
For the old building and the new building?
For the old building and the new building.
Wow.
A lot of people not having kids no more because it costs, right?
Yeah. And
then a lot of people are moving to different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And then that's one of the things is like, well, how do I make Coles more enticing? It's about programming. It's about recruiting great teachers. And it's also about offering something just beyond basketball or volleyball. I got to have like computer science and technical classes and things that say, oh, that school has this, so let's get our children over there, right? We know they're going to be safe. We know that. But it's like, what can you offer that's cutting edge that nobody else has and that makes them want to come? What they say, if you build it, they'll come.
They do.
So that's one of the things that's, the kids that's there, like when I think about me being in the position I am coming back to the community, it's also about how can I make it better for the next person.
Exactly.
So I'm looking for who's going to take the charge when I go. Like, I got to get somebody ready for that, right?
Yeah, you got to start molding them.
Yeah, right now. And so that's one of the things, like I show them, like, I'm here, you can be right here too. So who wants it? And then making it so that reputation follows. Like, we've always been known for sports, right? We were known for academics at one point. We're known for science fairs, art fairs, those type of things. You got to bring that back. The talent's in the building. It's just our job to cultivate it and mold it, regardless of financial restraints, because that's one of the biggest restraints we have, right? Is the financial thing. But one of the other challenges is mobilizing and educating the parents on how they can help their children better. And we do that a little bit. We got to do that more. Because when we get that force, even though it's 300, but if you think about it, that could be possibly between 500 and 600 parents, depending on circumstances, right? That we can mobilize and be one unit and move. And now we have a voice with City Hall, Illinois, and etc. So getting that done, because I've seen that in the Latino communities. I've seen that up north. So that's one of my biggest challenges, bringing that here, getting them to understand the power that they have. You know, so that's something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if we look at it like if everything you saying that you're trying to do or want to do, and if everything goes as planned, what do you think Coles will look like in the next 5 years?
I see it, and this is I've been chasing the ghost. I had to realize that. I see it pretty much looking how it used to be when we were there.
Okay.
Just thriving again.
Right.
You know, you remember recess? It would just be like people everywhere.
Everywhere.
If you had whatever you had going on, it was somebody that you could talk to or go to. It was something going on. I want to have Coles open 7 days a week till like 9 o'clock at night. Because if I can get them off the streets and they have somewhere safe to go to, then we can make them push them to the next level.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's always been. Yeah.
Who are you molding, or who do you see got planned to sit in your seat?
You know, I don't know if you remember. You remember the Fairchilds?
The name sounds familiar.
There's some twins in the building right now. They 8th grade. They twins. One of them's real vocal. I've even had them sit with Rhymefest on the school board panel and talk to them. But he has a lot of good ideas, and he's very vocal on his ideas, and the kids listen to him. To the point, it's like if the teacher's over here or something like that, he's running the space. I'm like, so you know, you're trying to cultivate leadership. You just see it in different ones. You know, I remember your son was like that. You know, when he talked, people was listening. You know, so that doesn't stop
to this day.
That doesn't stop. You know, that leadership is like, how do we build on that, right? And then how do we grab that interest and then push them forward? Because my biggest problem too is by the time I get them ready, it's time for them to go.
Right.
8th grade graduation, now they go to high school. And now what I'm doing, I'm starting on the next one. And I'm rolling through. So, you know, if we can get some more K through 12 schools within the community, that might be something, you know, but we never know. So we got to do a better job of tracking them too, like watching. But, you know, I always tell them, like, don't come back up here unless you got something good to show me, like being their grades or whatever they talking about they're doing. And believe it or not, they come back. And then sometimes the ones I never thought I'd see again come back. You know, I know you ain't like me. I stayed on you, but they like, I understand now. And that's what, like Mr. Campbell was to us, right? We ain't like it then.
No.
But you appreciate it now as a man.
Recognizable, most people they talk about
it's
to
Mr.
this
Campbell.
day. And Mr. Shepard.
And Mr. Shepard.
You know, that's it.
There's father figures for everybody.
Yeah. And he was on you. You know what I mean? On you. So that's what, it's still there. You know, that's when I say some of the things that have to remain the same. You have to have that in our community. If you don't, you're going to lose it.
Most definitely.
Tough environment. You got to be tough.
Yeah.
What can parents, local leaders, and the community
realistically do to support your school, Coles School, and some of the surrounding grammar schools too? Because it ain't really just about Coles. It's really about how all
Chicago,
the area.
It's about Chicago. That's why, you know, I had to learn to like not be mad at charter schools because they're servicing our kids. At the end of the day, you know, you look at it as wherever they live at, whatever community they're in, you're hoping that they're getting what they need, right?
In that environment.
And they get they need. And I think it's like when you talk about a journey starting with the first step is to just come up, get involved, right? We can cut through some of the red tape.
Right.
They have it set up where you have level 1 and level 2 volunteers.
Okay.
If you're not in the school more than 2 hours a week, you don't have a lot of red tape. If you're there more than that, then we got to get you through the red tape, but we can get you through it, right?
Exactly.
And then there's always something that you can do in service in some capacity. For example, we started the parent dad patrol. they don't come into school. They outside on them corners.
On the corners.
Making sure they got some more eyes out there. So what we do, we bought them sweatshirts, and they was happy with that. You know, but the thing came down to consistency. When that rain or that sleet, that snow, I still need you out there.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I got something to do. I get it, but any day I can get you up there, I'm gonna find you something to do. So I think it means like, but you got to think also, some people didn't like school when they was in school, right? It's a stigmatism where they don't want to be there, right? So we got to understand that too, and how can we make them comfortable? But at the end of the day, we service them. But any level we can get them involved, come on. And I think
love coming to school, though. I just love coming to school. I get to play with all my friends, knock my work out, play with my friends, gym. That piece that code's so good, man.
Yeah, you just came up and was volunteering. Y'all did that on your own. Y'all came up with volunteering with the basketball team. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you know, because it ain't about the money.
No.
You know, it's never about that. It's just about the love for the community and love for people that look just like you.
Exactly.
And making them,
and them kids, especially them kids, man.
Do Colts have an active basketball team now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
A good one.
A good one.
A good one. And that's something we've always pretty much had. But I just don't have the consistency with the coaching.
With the coaching.
With the coaching. But I got the kids, man. They're going to go. And we got something now. I got a good coach now. And I remember, if y'all remember Mark Turner.
Mark Turner.
But he was trying. You know, he came up there, he volunteered, he did the best of his ability. I got a picture in the school of him getting crossed over by one of the kids. I put it up there. You know, he'd be talking. I got the picture of the kid crossing him over. And you put that up. I said, hey, but
it's a memory.
It's the memories, you know. So that's the thing. But the talent is raw talent, you know, and that's why right now I'm building a gym, you know, with state-of-the-art equipment, so they can get that exercise in when the weather's right.
A built-on addition or something?
No, we got, like, I told you we went from like 800 to 300. So I got classrooms, I got the space. Well, I'm turning things into things so it looks like it's utilized, which it is. Exactly. But you know, just no empty, just classrooms. So let's turn this into something.
Okay.
You know, we got SEL rooms, we got rooms for students with disabilities and things like that. So they have like a sensory room. Okay. But and then I even have a gaming room now. So I got, if I can have you sit on this game with me and talk to me about what's going on while we talking on this game, you don't realize that you're talking to me. I'm getting this information. I'm going to use it to help. And so that's what we do, you know. And that's what they did to us. They was tricking us. You know, it's a game. I'm the biggest hustler in the school, trying to figure out how I'm going to get you what you need so I can get these scores out you and get you to be a better person along the way too. So that's how I go. Yeah.
Man, we need more people like you in the community with passion, man.
Man, bro, and I don't know where it came from, but
it's in you somewhere. It's in your DNA or something.
Something, bro.
My grandfather was a coach, so that's where my passion comes from.
You know, I would like for you all to come to the school with this and let them interview you all.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
To see, because and you can turn them on to this. You know what I mean? Because I think, you know, you all are doing a good thing too. You know.
So we would be able to come up there and let them interview us for the podcast.
I put my student council right on y'all.
Okay.
They ready too.
Okay.
You know, it'll be ready.
No problem.
Yeah. Whenever y'all ready for that, I'm ready for that. We'll make that happen.
We're gonna definitely make it happen.
Yeah. So I've been pulling on this alumni since I got there because I think that's huge, right? So we have the shirts. We sell shirts available at the school. We celebrated 100 years and we honored Mr. Campbell, so that brought people out. So with the celebration of code, we put it all on Facebook and things like that. We had like 80 people come up from different classes. And so I had them sign their names, get their email addresses and everything so I could build a chain, right? And then I had them, I did a little art project where they had to put their name, they had to put their hand in the paint. And with a little canvas. So I got all that, and then they signed their name with the year.
Okay.
So we're going to mount those in the school. And we're going to try to keep that going because people are like, you going to do it again next year? I'm like, didn't plan on it. It was like a 100-year anniversary, but people were asking about it so much. I think we're going to try to do it a yearly thing and try to do like a sock hop or something like that, you know. But it can only start there because, you know, be honest with you, it's like, okay, what alcohol? We don't have no alcohol. We might have some food, drink, you know, food and water, but the other stuff, y'all can go somewhere.
Go somewhere.
So, you know, we do something in the daytime. We had like a little carnival. and people enjoy it. We had the music. Larry Dorney DJ. It was beautiful. You know, Eric Turner and I can't think. They call him. I can't think of his name. Gonna hurt. Be mad about it. But they did a breakdancing competition.
Okay.
When I told them, I asked them. They was like, sure, and they worked on their routine for like 4 months.
Wow.
I was like, it was big battle. They was
Right.
They was
going at it, huh?
Man, they was going at it. I was like, okay. So just trying to get that going, and we honored a few teachers, but the alumni has been instrumental. Like with bringing that back, and they're asking for something, looking for a big culminating activity to have something. So because I think a lot of people, especially from my class of '86, got excited when I came back, and they're like, "What do you need? What do you need?" So a lot of them will come, and then I see people like, "I heard you, Principal Cole." I'm like, yeah. Or some people like, "Man, say it ain't so." I'm like, "Yeah, it is so." And then they're like, "Well, what can I do? I mean, you'd be surprised who's donated water, who's donated things at that school. You'd be like, you didn't think they would be even thinking about it, but people are like, whatever you need. And just keep going with that. So trying to build that nucleus right there.
That's
right?
love.
Yeah, that's right. Love. That's much love.
Definitely looking to support, man. Hopefully, hopefully we have something going on in the summertime. We can get out there with you.
Okay.
What message do you want students at Coles to hear directly from you?
They can be anything they want to do. Whatever they put their mind to, it's all possible. And they got a whole community behind them.
You definitely do.
They got a whole community behind them.
How do some of the former students that went there, do they come and give back, support?
Well, it's just two things. You know, some of them are not in a position to give back yet because they still on their flight, right? They still on there going to school, but they mad at me because every year we try to make some improvements. They come back, we didn't have this when I was here. We didn't have this. Why you do it? You know, we're gonna keep on pushing it.
Why would you be mad at that?
Well, you know, it's like they wanted while they was there.
It was the time then when we went to the school, you know.
Exactly. Hey, but even on a year basis,
we didn't want them wooden backboards when we was there. We wanted glass, but they wasn't there. It wasn't there. It wasn't in the budget, I guess.
Wasn't in the budget. Like that playground. Mm-hmm. They call it the playground now. It's the park now. When we was coming up, it was Eckasaw.
Right.
Had them rusty swings. Yeah. And that's all we had. So that ain't like so every year we try to make some improvement, and CPS has been grateful. They help as well because that building's 100 years old. Yeah, and a lot of things break and a lot of things. But if you come look at it, it looks good. Yeah. It looks good. Yeah,
definitely come take a tour, man.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to tell to the viewers?
Man, I
to
would
the
say
CPS community. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm sorry to cut you off. I mean, if I had anything to say to the viewers or the CPS community, you know, it doesn't have to be Coles. Just find your school, get involved, help out. There's something that need, especially with, you know, we face a $720 million deficit. It's all over the news. You know, the money's not there, but that doesn't mean the people can't give back and help, right? It's not always about money, right? It's about time. And that's all they need. You know, a lot of them are misunderstood, but a lot of them have nobody to talk to, period. And that's part of the problem. Some of them just need somebody to talk to.
No role models, no leaders, you know.
And they trying to figure it out on their own. You got a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old trying to figure out some grown stuff. The math ain't mathing, right? It ain't adding up for them. Yeah. And they just doing something. It's like they need somebody to say, hey, come here.
Right. And
they appreciate it. We didn't appreciate it. Might not appreciate it right then, but hey, you might be saving somebody down the line. So I put it like this: you never know when you're gonna need them. You never know when you're gonna see them again. You know, and then, like I've been doing this 28 years now. I got some people that's grown now, and they come and they shake your hand and see you. You might not even recognize all of them. They recognize you, and you're like, okay, that's enough to keep you going. That one push. You're not gonna reach them all, but the few that you do get, it makes you feel good to sleep at night.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming out.
I appreciate y'all
spitting
inviting me
them gems for these kids and the school system and for our neighborhood at Edward Cole School.
Yeah.
And if there's anything else you want to, close out with, you know what I'm saying? Feel free. Or you want to give them your social media for yourself and Cole School so they can be on the lookout for you?
We got the Edward Cole's alumni page. You know, I don't do too much social media.
Okay.
But Edward Cole's got the alumni page, And we're located 8441 South Yates on the southeast side of Chicago, door 1, pull up, make the contribution or whatever you want to do, some time, or just come talk, just come see it.
Or,
you know, one of the things
or sit
I'm
on
proud
the
of,
corner and make sure the kids get home.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's right. That's right. That's it. Yeah. My man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
So I wouldn't go talk about McSpadden Automotive. You know, that's my other hustle, but you know how that go.
Yeah.
But that's what put me through school though.
Yeah,
You know,
you've been selling cars around there a long time.
Man, it ain't gonna stop till I get it through school and I can relax.
Yeah, I know that's right.
You're gonna keep on moving.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate y'all bringing me down, and man, I'm glad I decided to do it today.
Yes, sir.
It was a beautiful thing. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of downtown for a minute.
Yep, for your birthday.
Yes, sir.
With your baby girl over there with you.
Yeah, man, we got to
She
talk.
gonna enjoy your birthday
16.
too.
Yes, sir. She's gonna enjoy it too. Man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.